guys.
All right, thank you, Molly. Now, our live team coverage takes us to Maynardville Pike.
That's where Six on Your Side reporter Caleb Craig joins us. And again, she's been checking out areas for us throughout the East Tennessee region. And so far, you haven't seen a lot on the roadways, which is good news.
Yeah, I'm now here in Maynardville. I'm on Maynardville Pike, right in Halls. I'm actually right by a Waffle House. But the roads in this area are looking great from what we've seen so far. As we were driving around, we saw they were super clear. We saw lots of clouds going by. I'm sure you guys can see right now that there's not a lot of spotters going on the main road, which is great for people who are traveling. As you can see, there's actually a ton of people out in this area as well. But I think I'm going to start talking to some locals around here at the Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that next time. And reporting in Hall, Caleb Craig 6 on your side.
Now, Caleb, did you stop at the Waffle House just to get a little Waffle House?
I would blame her. She saw what we have here.
I love it. She's like you can see her in the monitor. She's laughing. All right, we'll check back in with her in a little bit.
But I think I'm going to start talking to some locals around here at the Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that next time. And reporting in Hall, Caleb Craig 6 on your side.
Caleb, did you stop at the Waffle House just to get a little Waffle House?
I would blame her. She saw what we have here.
I love her. She's like you can see her in the monitor. She's laughing. All right, we'll check back in with her in a little bit.
But I think I'm going to start talking to some locals around here at the Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that next time. And reporting in Hall, Caleb Craig 6 on your side.
Just to get a little Waffle House.
She saw what we have here.
I love her. She's like you can see her in the monitor. She's laughing. We'll check back in with her in a little bit.
I think I'm going to start talking to some locals around here at the Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that next time. And reporting in Hall, Caleb Craig 6 on my side.
Just to get a little Waffle House.
She saw what we have here.
I love her. She's like you can see her in the monitor. She's laughing. We'll check back in with her in a little bit.
I think I'm going to start talking to some locals around here at the Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. The Waffle House after this to see what they're doing on their snow day and to see what they're doing on their snow day and, why they decided to come out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that next time.
To build a strong house, you gotta start with a solid foundation. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Hey y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Popper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local, trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing, quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up, up, up. But our prices are low, low, low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury vinyl planks starting at just 69 cents per square foot. Pre-finished hardwood flooring starting at just $129 per square foot. Appliances, 40% less than you pay at the big box store. Just in, beautiful 3/4 by 6 pre-finished hardwood flooring. Several great colors. Get it before it's gone. Come shop us in Antioch, Oak Ridge, or Cookville, or online anytime at stoversliquidation.com. Stover.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question, he'll help you figure it out. 'Cause it's Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Welcome into Rick's House. Live from the camper this morning. Appreciate you joining us. You know, one of the things I learned a long time ago in radio is have multiple cords. So we had just a tiny glitch there, but we're back at it. Yep, it's a great peanut butter and hot sauce combination there, Brian, for emergencies. When you need a nighttime snack. So good deal. I'm glad we got that rolling. Had to change the cord out. Apologize for that. We're going to do the podcast from the travel trailer today. We are snowed in here in beautiful Knox Vegas. Don't know how much we got yet, looking at the news to see, but we got quite a bit of snow. It started yesterday afternoon, and for us, I mean, this isn't snow like y'all get out west and all that kind of stuff, but it is snow that for us is a pretty good little snow. Main roads are They did a good job getting the salt out and getting everything on them. Back roads still kind of iffy, so to speak. It's 31. So it's going to get up just, 32, maybe 34 today. That's the high. And then tonight we're going to be in the teens. So a little unusual storm for us coming out of the west. And so we got that going on. Been up since 3:30 and was too tired, just to be honest with you. We had a bunch of stuff had to do yesterday. And was too tired to put all the equipment together. So I thought, well, I'll do that. But our lovely and wonderful Gypsy, our rescue cat, Evidently, has she seen snow yet, Amy? Was this her first one? Yeah. So the lovely and talented Gypsy, this was her first snow. And so typically she will come in. She come in last night. And then she wants to, lay around all day. And then she'll go out for a little while in the evening. And then she wants to sleep all day and then sleep half the night. And then it is her job in life to wake me up in the middle of the night because she wants to go outside and visit her friend, Tomcat, that lives in the barn. Well, so she begins to meow, and meow, and meow. Did I say meow? And and it's not just a meow. It becomes there's a word for it that we're not going to say on the podcast this morning, but it is a definite. You need to get up and let me out. So I thought, okay. And she won't do it to anybody but me. She don't bother Mama. She just does it to me. See. So she began to meow. Yeah, she starts off soft. Meow, 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 meow. And then the longer you wait, the stronger it gets. Meow. So I would get up and go to the door. And every time I got up and went to the door and opened the door and she saw 4 inches of snow on the steps, she stood there and looked at it very puzzled. Like, what's this? Then she turned back and looked at me. Then she turned back. And I'm not going to stand in the doorway with the door open while she decides to go out. It was 28. So I shut the door, come back over, try to go back to sleep. 5 minutes later, meow, meow. So we've done that since 3:30 this morning. Finally, about 5, I opened the door and gently with my foot pushed her out. And what she wanted to do before that, what she wanted to do was she wanted to eat the snow. I'm like, look, we ain't having snow cream at 4:30 and 5 in the morning. Either you're going out or you're staying in. What's it going to be, girl? Let's make a decision here. So needless to say, I finally just shoved her outside. That lasted about 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then she came back. So first cup of coffee here this morning. Appreciate y'all joining us. We got big news, a lot of things happening. As I said last week on the show, we had our last show on Praise 96.3, and we thank everyone for being a part of that, and for the time that we had there. And we may be something, we may be doing something that with them in the future, but for right now, we're making a change as my contract ended, and we were going to start this Saturday, but it just was pushing it too much because the people that helped me facilitate that were on vacation with this snow coming in and everything that had happened there. It was just too hard to get done. And so we elected to go to there next week. And so on the 18th, we'll be kicking off the new show on Mix 105.5. That's Mix 105.5. And during this week, I'll be posting to you. We'll still be doing podcasting like we're doing now, the same formats for those of you like Brian and John and Jeffrey and, Steve. Good to see you, brother. I don't know how much y'all got down in Georgia, but I'd like to know. We'll be doing all that with you folks as well, and we'll also be on the radio station. And in addition to that, we'll be streaming on their platform as well, which is you can just go to 105.5mix.com or .net. I'll have to look. I've got it wrote down. Just in my hurry to get all that done, I don't know what I've done with my blue folder, Mama. But that being said, we will be live, and it's going to do a couple things for us. It's going to allow us to play music, whatever kind of music that we want to play. And it's going to allow us to do some things that free us up a little bit. But the other thing about it is 105.5 The Mix gets Knoxville. It's spotty in some places, but it gets the majority of Knoxville. But it also gets Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Jefferson City, Morristown, and a whole area that we're really interested in. And our sponsors, God love them, have been with me, since the beginning. It allows us to provide them coverage in areas that are really important to them. In terms of because of the amount of rental properties that are there and the types of work that they do. We'll be introducing new sponsors to you that have come on board with us, and we are so excited about that. Like our friends at Preferred Modular Custom Homes of Knoxville, where we're going to do a whole lot of talking about modular homes, because in this climate where you have the cost of living and doing a home being what it is, this is going to make for a great opportunity for us to highlight a way for you to get into a house that is built in a controlled environment. But not only that, it is in the type of environment that is built without weather. It's built in a jig. It's built where everything is plumb and square. And this is not, excuse me, this ain't what it used to be. This is top quality, everything from granite countertops to right up and down the line. So we're really excited about that and making sure that we give you the best information that we can to help you in those housing needs. Now, Brian had asked me about Vance. Vance will be hopefully joining us today on the program, and I'm looking for him in here once he gets rolling, and if so, we'll add him in and let him be a part of what we're doing. He's always welcome here on the program, as well as my new producer Steve, who comes with me, who's really good as well, from 105.5 The Mix. And so we're just really excited about all that. The other thing is we've picked up some new sponsors I want to tell you about this morning. I'm so excited to have our friends at CMG Mechanical Services LLC. CMG, man, they just do a great job. And I tell you, Chris and Brian and Kevin, Chris and Brian and Michael. I don't know why I want to say Kevin. Chris and Brian and Michael, what a great job they do. CMG Mechanical Services, fantastic. Call them today for all your HVAC needs. Winter's here. Yes, it is. Don't get caught in the cold. Let them go to work for you. And they love to give you a free inspection, and they'll service your unit, put you on a plan. Gas furnaces, heat pumps, new installations, gas lines, gas log installation, fully licensed and insured, of course. 5-star Google reviews. 5% discount for the military, for first responders, and for teachers. Chris's mama it does all of our Special Olympic stuff here in our area in Tennessee, and does just a fantastic job. And of course, went to school with her and her husband, as well as Chris's brother, Chris's uncles. And so we have just a great relationship with CMG Mechanical. that they just do a great job. So you can hit them up on Facebook. I'll be putting that number out for you here in a little bit too, as well, as we do the show today. Like I said, I didn't want to not get a show out this morning. So we got a lot to talk about, but we're podcasting, and like I said, I put it all up and had a bad cord, so we'll throw that one away and order a new one. You always got to have multiple cords when you're working in that, and that's true for anything. You know, when I'm doing a home improvement project, and I'm thinking about what I'm going to do, and this is something that I learned early on, and I guess it came from putting all those swing sets together in the middle of the night. If you've ever put a swing set together, Jeff Foxworthy ought to use that, and had parts left over, you might be a normal person. Sometimes these engineers put stuff together, and you know, the thing about it is that what I did learn is going through projects, nothing is worse than to be doing a home improvement project and think you need 3 screws of a certain size, or bolts, or a half a pound of nails, or 1 tube of caulk, or any of those types of things, and you don't get to the end of the project and have what you need. So I'm the kind that I'm going to, if I think I need 1, I'm buying 2. Now that's not true with cars, obviously, but if I'm doing home improvement or I'm doing radio, if I think I need 1 cord, I'm gonna buy an extra. It just makes good sense. Just like with microphones, I don't have 1 mic, I got 3, and it's because, as the other day, I got a mic that got a little bit of corrosion in it, and don't know where that came from, because they stay in a sealed case, but thank goodness I was able to change immediately. And get that done. Brian, I don't have a way. I didn't hook up phones for the podcast today, but starting next week, we'll be taking live phone calls as always at the radio station. And doing their thing. I'll be on the morning show this week. They got a great morning show. This station is a historically owned station here in that part of the world. Been servicing Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Knoxville, Jefferson City, Morristown since 1962. Oh, thank you, honey. And so it's been around a long time. And the owner's a great guy, and they're just good folks. And like I said, we're excited. Still think the world of our friends over at Praise 96.3, and we may end up doing something there at a different time. So, you know, it's just one of those things. You just do what you, as time comes along and opportunities open, then you chase those things and see where God leads you and what you need to do. And Steampunk Johnny, good to see you this morning, and as well as everybody else that's watching us on the program. But there, back to the project. That's one of the things, and I appreciate the folks. Miss Rule, I hope you found us this morning. Sent me a message to the website, Rick's House Radio, rickshousradioshow.com, rickshouseradio.com. I think it's rickshouseradio.com, and sent me a message there. And so I was able to put that information to her, and let her be sure and join us, and everybody that's called the station and ask. And, you know, you can always hit me up on an email, rickshouseradio@gmail.com, or on the Facebook pages, or any of those kinds of things. So, you know, we're here. Like I said, the snow just prevented us from doing that. Wasn't sure if Steve, who'll be producing for me there, was going to make it in last night because of flights. And so it just didn't make sense to try to push forward and make that happen. So here we are. We're going to have a good morning in the snow. And I would raise that window shade behind me, but you're just going to get a bunch of glare that you're not going to enjoy. But it is a white blanket of snow on the ground this morning, as we're looking at the news. And 4 to 9, 6 to 2 to 4, 6 to
8 inches expected, I think, total in our area, which again, for you folks out west, that ain't much, but for us here, as they used to say, that's a darn good one right there. I'm going to tell you, and we're going to talk today about some things that I found interesting. And, I didn't realize this. I started on this last week, and I didn't get into it about the things that, without Albert Einstein, there's a whole lot of things in our world that would not be possible today. And I just thought that was interesting. I don't know who's going to take my place in over at the other station in the mornings. I really don't know. So we'll see over there. And of course, we wish them the very, very best with everything, all their endeavors and everything that they're doing. So we're doing that. I'd separated all those out for recycling. Yeah. For the last 2 or 3 days. Okay. So, but today we're gonna do it this way, and that's the way we're going to make it happen. So we appreciate that. John says the breakfast blend is very mild and smooth. I think Amy will like it. I think she will too. As Steampunk Johnny coffee is on its way, supposed to be here, I think, Monday. And that's going to be good timing because we're getting low on coffee, and we like that Steampunk Johnny coffee. We'll be putting that up where you guys can see it. If you want to reach out to John, if you put in the comments how they find you to try your coffee blend, we'll be happy for you to do that. Love to have that. Angie Trott, good morning to you. Good to see you this morning as we do a podcast from like we used to on the road this morning, preparing for the new radio station 105.5 The Mix. We're excited about that, and that starts next Saturday, the 18th of January. Sorry, y'all, had to get a little coffee. So we got that going on. Always, we want to tell you about our sponsors, of course. And our sponsors have went with us. We're really excited about that. Top Septic Service, Josh and Heidi, what a fantastic job they do with, pumping out your black tank, dealing with whatever that problems you may have. If you have a septic tank, if you need a new drain field installation, they can handle that for you. And also, Joshua owns and Heidi owns and operate August Excavations, 423-736-1402. And you can find all these things on our website, as well as when we're going to adjust that a little bit as we go up. But what a good job. And one of the things that they do is Joshua he's a veteran, and we love our veterans. And so, and Brian, we're glad that you got that done. Congratulations. I know that's good to be retired from PP Sec Security, and I'm happy for you. But August Excavations will come out and lay your house out and get your footings poured and get your foundation set, and they'll do a lot of things that make it right, because I'm telling you, having been a builder, a general contractor I'm not active anymore, but since 1987, 89, somewhere around in there. If you don't get that foundation started right for whatever you're doing, whether you're setting a modular home, whether you're doing an addition, whether you're, whatever you may be doing, if you don't get it started right from the beginning, you're going to fight that through the entire project. And nothing is more irritating than having to do that. Melissa, good to see you this morning, joining the program. And you still with me, Steve? Sorry about that, my friend. Here in the big outdoor, we only got a few inches, everything back up and kicking this morning. Good deal. Good deal. Good to see that, Steve. And like I said, for those of you just joining us, we're just kind of making the announcement. We'll make it throughout the program here this morning that we have moved stations. We start this coming Saturday, the 18th of January, on Mix, 105.5 The Mix, 1055mix.com or .net. I'll pull that up here in a second. I've got all that wrote down in an email. But we'll still be podcasting like we always do, but we'll be live from the studio to Facebook and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So we have that going on. So August Excavations and Top Septic, two of our favorites. What a great job they do. Of course, right now, if you are lucky enough to get to a cabin before it snowed, if you wasn't, you want to think about going to a cabin, it's a good time of year to do that in Gatlinburg and the surrounding areas, to call our friend Anita at Cozy Mountain Cabins. That's Cozy with a Z. Cozy Mountain Cabins. Give Anita a call, 865-660-0340. And we'll tell you more about more of our sponsors as we go along today. I don't want to take the whole time to just talk about sponsors, even though they're super important and allow us to do what we need to do and how we need to do it. I saw something that popped up on my email this morning, and I started to print it off, and I thought, well, no, I can probably remember that, which I don't know if I'll be able to or not. So here's the deal. It was talking about whether or not, which side of the car your gas tank cap is on, where you fill your car with gas. And I got to thinking about that. And for the most part, they tend to be on the driver's side. But not all cars I've had. Some cars I've had, they've been on the passenger side, which I think is really aggravating, because you got to get out, walk around the back of the car. You got to, it's just kind of aggravating. And so the question was asked, what is the standard? What is the standard for that? And is there a standard? Well, the truth is that there is not a standard for that, but it can be on either side, and that's perfectly legal. But it's based on the widest point of the vehicle, as well as based on the design of the vehicle and how it's put together. It's based on the widest point, and it's based on where, in the event it drips, it doesn't hit anything hot, if at all possible. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they're thinking ahead far enough, to try to avoid. And so that's how the decision is made. Now, I don't know about you, but as I hit my mid to late 50s, and if you have different vehicles and you're driving different things and different cars, sometimes I think, or especially getting something new, you think, well, is that on the left side? Is that on the right side? I mean, which side is that on? What's the deal? And so what I learned later in life is that if you look at your gas fuel gauge, you will have a little gas pump on there, and it will have an arrow, a little solid arrow. And that arrow is pointing toward which side of the vehicle that your gas pump's on. And I just found that to be interesting. I never noticed it before. So if you've got a new car and you're not sure about which side it's on, just look at your gas gauge and it'll show you. There'll be a little gas pump there, and it'll show you it's on the right side, passenger side, or it'll show you it's on the left side, the driver's side. And just an easy way for you to remember that. So either side's okay, so they say in the safety rules. I didn't know that. My buddy Steve Val says that's correct, because he knows more about cars and stuff than I'll ever know. It's like my buddy Troy. We're getting a new door put into his house that we had our friends was made over at Dyke Industries here in town, and we needed something that had a composite frame, because this used to be a sunroom, and it takes a lot. It's a Western exposure, and it takes a pounding. I mean, it takes an absolutely pounding when the weather comes from the west, which is where ours comes from. And what's happened is back in the day, they use finger jointed pine for your frame and for your trim and for everything. And they cross cut that on a saw, which left an open end, which just became a sponge. So whoever put the door in originally, instead of leveling, it was the porch had just a tad bit of slope to it. So instead of leveling that seal on the bottom, then putting silicone down to block that water flow and properly installing the door, I always, once I figured out that it would rot from the bottom up, you can take a little sealant and just a little, even if it's stained, you know, you can just brush it on the bottom of the cross cut. I'd use a little water sealant, like for decks. And I'd always have a bucket of that laying around and just preserve the bottom of that before you silicone it, let it soak it up. And then you don't have that 4 to 6 inches on the side of the frame that's going to rot. So with the new door that we've selected, we had to do a couple things. And these are things that I've learned the hard way over the years from putting in lots and lots of doors and lots of windows in a replacement situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take our first time out to hear from a few of our sponsors, like our friends over at Knoxville Salvage and so forth and so on. So when we come back from this first time out, where I can let you hear from those folks, I'm going to tell you a couple things that you got to think about and what you can do to make that a little easier. That also gives me time to take a bite of this sausage biscuit my bride just brought me. So hang on, don't go anywhere. We're gonna give you some tips on if you've got a door to replace, and we're gonna talk about that coming up live here on Rick's House Radio Show on the road. 44 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. Hang on, youngins. We'll be right back. Sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen. For 20 years, my wife and I and our family have been eating at Senor Taco. It's one of our favorite places. If you like seafood, they've got the most fantastic seafood in Knoxville. Not only that, great deals and specials on any type of Mexican food you like. Remember, Senor Taco on Broadway, and they cater too. Go by and see them, have a great meal, and tell them that Rick's House sent you. Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Piper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question question, he'll help you figure it out. Cause it's Rick's house.
Good Saturday morning to you. Something with a little hump. Get that blood pumping this morning. Little sausage biscuit with some hot sauce on it makes it all right. Talking about restoration of replacement of those doors. Good morning, Michelle. Good to see you this morning. She says, good morning. Can't tell you how many times I pulled up to the wrong side of the car. Park, got out, grunt. I got to go back and do it all over again. Oh, I've done that so much. I just, it's like, oh, that's so frustrating. It just really is. So frustrating. Vance, good morning, sir. Let me see if I can bring you in. Let me see what'll happen here. I don't know. Let's see. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Let me see if I can do that. All right, Vance, I'm going to send you a link. We're trying something new here on the program, which is always exciting when we do that. And see if Vance can get on here with us and make that happen. Okay, let's go to email and see if it'll let us do that. Vance says that's all right, brother. He overslept. Ain't no problem. It's all good in the hood, as we say. And so we'll do that. And I hope it doesn't mess up what you guys are hearing while I'm doing that. It takes the computer just a second to run everything that we're running when we're running off of the internet. We've been fortunate. We do that so often, and we make that happen on the road by and we use Visible, and it's been great for us. It really has. It's been great. It's worked out very well for us, and we've appreciated that. Like I said, it's been good on the program, and continue and okay. And it's worked out good, and it's when you do that. But as long as you have a pretty strong signal, we've been pretty satisfied with good. We've enjoyed that, and hopefully we'll be able to send this out and make it happen, and see what happens. I'm curious to see if it does anything to our podcast while we're doing that. And so y'all just let me know. I hope everybody's hearing everything, and it's happening as it should be. So back to talking about the door while I'm doing this with Vance. The secret is you can put a new door in, but you got to think about a couple things. You've got to think about how you are going to put that door back in against the siding that you have, how you're going to deal with, providing the trim to butt back up against it, how the trim on the inside is going to work, and all those kinds of things. So the first thing I do is I take the inside trim off. That's how I measure the door. I take the inside trim off to measure the door. That way I'm going to know whether it's going to fit or not. And I know that most likely I may or may not be able to utilize the trim. Okay. So I go ahead and buy me 3 new pieces of trim. So I've got that and got that ready to go. And, I'll do that. Lance, I'm going to have to try to do that during the next commercial break. So we'll see what we can do when we do that, because it's making me use Outlook. So in the meantime, we can still see your comments and everything that you got, but I'll get you on here in a minute. We'll work on that as we can. The other thing is that outside, if they go ahead and put the brick mold on the door, then the problem is that if they put that brick mold on the door, then you can't adjust it any. And once it's cut to fit, if you need it to be a little bit wider, there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't need it to be a little bit wider and you're not concerned about that, and you need it to be smaller, then you're okay. But if it needs to be wider, then there's no way you can do it. You just can't do it, because it's not going to. It's just not going to fly, as they say. And so that being said, that can be a problem. So what we do is we have them send the brick mold loose, and then I get new trim. The reason we pull the trim off before we measure is so we can measure the door accurately, because we want the door to be the same size as the door that we have, if with all possible. That saves a whole bunch of work and a whole bunch of time. So by doing that, we are going to take a utility knife and go down the edge of the trim between the trim of the door and the wall, and we're going to cut that loose in the caulk joint. Okay? We're going to cut that loose in the caulk joint, and then we're going to pull it loose. That keeps it from peeling our paint back against the wall and having to try to touch up paint when we don't want to have to fool with that. Then we're going to take a small flat bar and we're going to pull that trim loose. And we're going to pull that trim not from the wall side, unless we have to, with a shim underneath it, because we don't want to dent the sheetrock. No, we're going to go to the other side and we're going to pull that trim off, pushing the flat bar against the door that we're taking out and getting rid of anyway, so that we don't have an issue there. That's the way we're going to do that. Now we can get an accurate measurement of the width of the door along with the height of the door to make sure that the new door that we have is going to fit. And so that's what I did. And so when they shipped me this door, and my buddy I'm putting it in for, he went by and picked it up. So the door's all, together, and we have a composite frame that's rot proof. I told Candy that works down there and has been with Doc for a long time in millwork, knows a lot about millwork. I said, listen, I want, the only thing I want to be better against water than this door is a submarine or a fish. And she thought that was funny, but that's the truth, because we don't want to deal with the water issue anymore, because now it's rotted the frame, and you can fix that. If you can find a piece of jam, it's a pain. When we take that door out, I know that we're going to have a little bit of water damage, because they've used pressure treated on the bottom of the floor for your seal, the part that lays flat, and then you put regular lumber up and down and regular lumber on the top in your 2x4s. Most likely the seal's going to be fine because it's pressure treated, but the part that's not going to be fine are the studs that go up. They're going to be rotten in places, and so we're going to have to fix that. Now, fortunately, this is not, excuse me, this is not a load-bearing wall, so it's not something that I have to worry about that being being an issue. And so, but if it was a load bearing wall, then I'd have to build a temporary wall inside to carry the weight until I could get it repaired from underneath. And sometimes you have to do that. That's why you gotta have a licensed person who knows what they're doing, who's trained and insured, because of the things that can that can happen. And so this is this is just part of the process. But by getting that trim sent loosely, now we can put the door in, get it plumb level, get it shimmed on the bottom, get it sealed, get all that done, and then apply the trim so that it fits right back up against the vinyl siding. And then, of course, we can adjust the trim on the interior as well. So this is kind of an odd application because the door's jammed to one side, and so the trim's been ripped on one side, which takes a table saw to rip it back down. That's fine. But even if we put the door back in there, when we straighten the door up, the existing trim on that side would not work anyway, because it's not going to be flush with the wall because the door's not put in level. So that being said, so that's why we want the trim loose, so we can be plumb and level and make that happen, and not have any issues with it. And those are the little things that you learn, as you go along. And I learned from, I didn't invent it. I just learned from people that taught me. I mean, that's how it goes. You watch and you go and you assist and you do the grunt work. And then, hey, all of a sudden, then you figure out that, you got something going on that's working the way it's supposed to. I want to say good morning to my brother Vance in the house this morning. And we're going to try to get that link over to you, brother, and see if we can't get you on. Although you can communicate with the through the texting, but like I said, I've minimized it, and I'm gonna try to do it during the timeout. For some reason, the Streamlabs that we use wants to use Microsoft Outlook, and I hate Microsoft Outlook. I just do, and it's not because it's not good. I'm sure it's fantastic and excellent, but I grew up. It's like I'm not going to own an iPhone. I've had 3 of them, and I don't understand them, and I've had to have them in my work when I was working for a living, and I don't get it, don't understand it, so I ain't gonna use them because the technology's different. Give me a good old Android. They could have left me at Windows XP. I'd been happy as a dog or a pig in slop, as they say, because I just, my mind doesn't think that way. I was brought up on a new set of an old set of technology. They could have left me at Windows XP, been happy as I could be, but that ain't how it rolls. So that's what we have to do. So we're going to replace that door, and now we're going to have a door that's impervious to that water situation, and is going to perform. The other thing that we're doing, that we're changing, and this changes the door, is the door now is an outswing door. So the height of an outswing door is shorter than the height of an in-swing door because of how it's built. So we wanted to change the door to an in-swing door that swings back to the right. That's a right-hand in-swing. And the way you determine hinging on doors, if you put your back to the hinges, now they used to say butt to butt. If you put your butt to the butt of the hinge, then you can, whichever arm you swing, if you swing it's a right hand in, if you swing your left hand out, it's a left hand out swing, or vice versa. If you're up against the hinge on the other side, that's how you determine swing on doors. But by doing that, now it allows us to install a storm door with a window in it that he can open and get ventilation and have light in there. Of course, it's got a bunch of windows in it anyway, but still it allows the door to be open and have a, for entrance. And it's another entrance to the house where his son lives and he works. And this will give him an entrance in and out where, when he's coming in, he can come in, he can go out, and he leaves early in the morning. So, it's those little things that you got to think about as you're beginning to, do a project. And even something as just a door swap can be complicated, but it can also go a whole lot easier if you take the time to add those things that you're thinking about adding while you're thinking about it ahead of time, and then the project goes the way that you want it to go, and that's what we're after. Again, for those of y'all just joining us, we're podcasting from the travel trailer today because we're snowed in, all of us, and we're moved radio stations, and we're thankful so much for the station, Praise 96.3, where we were, but we are now headed to Bobby Bradford. Good to see you this morning, brother. Glad to have you on the program. But we're podcasting from the house today because we start on the new station this coming week on the 18th of January on 105.5 The Mix in Sevierville. And that's going to give us Knoxville. There are some places in Knoxville that it's iffy, but there's some places it's really good, and even Deep West. But also, that'll give us Knoxville. It'll give us Jefferson City, Morristown, Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and all those kinds of places. So we're just really excited about it. It's going to be a great opportunity for us. And, like I said, we've picked up new sponsors that we're really happy with. And, if you are looking for heat and air with our friends at CMG Mechanical Services LLC, what a great job they do. Chris and Michael and Brian just do a phenomenal job, and they're doing a great job for us. And we're happy with them, and they'll give you a second opinion and really and truly, sometimes, not that somebody don't know what they're doing, that's not the point, but sometimes a different set of eyes see something differently. And we had a case where they went and worked for a client for me, and what the client said could have been a possibility, but with their experience, they realized that it was not the real problem with the unit. The problem is that it was a larger unit than what they really needed. And so the return air was not large enough. And so what was happening was it was forcing the unit not to work properly. Making that change completely corrected the problem. And then they had another unit that they had made a temporary fix electrically outside that let it run for a little while, but they didn't know to look inside the unit because there was something that had to be changed there. And when that was changed, now the unit's working perfectly. So when we come back, I got a couple things I want to talk about. We're going to take a time out here, but when I come back, I got a couple things I want to talk about. The first thing is the way business is done in the home improvement world nowadays. I want to make you aware of something that we're seeing a lot of that I don't like it, but nobody cares. But I want you to be aware of it because it's something that we're seeing, and not within our sponsors. They don't do it. Not anybody I'm talking about. But it's how business is done nowadays, and in some of these newer generations. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to tell you just to be aware of it. That's why second opinions are great when we're talking about those mechanical services and those kinds of things. So we're going to take a short time out because it's top of the hour here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about that, what to look out for, and then we're going to continue our conversation about projects that you can do and being prepared. And also a couple things that without Albert Einstein, we wouldn't have. Didn't realize that. All I thought is he said pi r squared. My papa said pi r squared. Pi r round, cornbread r squared. You're listening to Rick's House, Saturday mornings, live podcast. Hang on, youngins. We'll be right back.
To build a strong house, you gotta start with a solid foundation. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Piper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online, KnoxvilleSalvage.com oldcitykitchens.com, a Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing, quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up, up, up. But our prices are low, low, low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury vinyl plank starting at just 69 cents per square foot. Pre-finished hardwood flooring starting at just $129 per square foot. Appliances, 40% less than you pay at the big box store. Just in, beautiful 3/4 by 6 pre-finished hardwood flooring. Several great colors. Get it before it's gone. Come shop us at Antioch, Oak Ridge, or Cookville, or online anytime at stoversliquidation.com. Stovers.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure.
Don't let
Makes a difference between a good job and a bad. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying a mud, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs.
Hey, y'all, this is Kix Brooks, and you are listening to Rick's House, everything you need to know about home improvement. Here comes Rick.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question, he'll help you figure it out. 'Cause it's Rick's House.
Whoa, whoa, way down south in the rain and the heat. Sure get hot there, you can cook an egg on the concrete. Walking around on the city streets, they go, whoosh, let the big dog eat. Let the big dog eat.
Good Saturday morning. A little music from a friend of mine.
Call the doctor.
Kind of sounds like Huey Lewis, don't he?
I don't know what it is, but I know it sure hurts. Call the ambulance and call the cop. Call the number of the man of God. Let the big dog eat.
Good Saturday morning to you. Hope you're enjoying the program this morning. We're having a little fun as we do the podcast. A little bit different opportunity for us today to get things done. And as we prepare to go to the new station this coming week, Lance, check your email. I sent you a link, and let's see if that gets you on here. And like I said, we're gonna figure this out. Even if we figure it out after the show, we got to figure that out, and so we can get you in there and make that happen. So we've been talking about the part of the, of what we do. Yeah, John, you know, it is interesting. He's kind of a mix of Huey Lewis and Stevie Ray. He really is, and really unique voice. And like I said, he's been around a long time, but you know, that's something I've had for quite some time, and he gave it to me to use, and I just kind of dig it because, you know, Huey Lewis is having voice issues, and he can't do what he used to do because of it. Well, it's not a voice issue, is my understanding. It's a from what I hear, it's a a vocal, not a vocal thing. I'll spit it out in a minute. It has something to do with his, the way that he hears things, which if you're an artist, that must be terrible. But one of mine and Amy's absolute favorites, Huey Lewis and the News. We grew up on that, and that's good stuff. Like I said, as the old boy said, if you don't like that, there's something wrong with you. So needless to say, we got that going on. So something new I wanted to talk about on the program, and I've mentioned this from time to time before we say anything about Einstein, but this is something that really is a new theme, and we're seeing lots and lots of it as companies come along that are successful, and they build that company, and then they take that company and put that company for sale. This is one of the things that I'm seeing. And others are seeing, and I just, quite frankly, it just gripes me. I just don't think it's the right way to do things, but that's my opinion. They think it is, so more power to them. I don't think it is. And what it is if you'll notice, and this was told to me by some people in the trades, that as they're having to deal with it, I'm gonna see if I can hold the microphone and take a dip at the same time. That's going to be interesting. It was told to me that instead of service technicians, a lot of companies now have sales technicians. Now, what that means is that they're really not interested with showing you whether or not they can fix whatever it is that you have a problem with. They don't care about that. It don't matter what you have a problem with. The new thing is, it can't be repaired. You got to replace it. Now, that's a whole new set of issues. And I don't like it. I'm just being honest. I don't like it. I just, if you can repair something and save somebody, especially in this environment, and save somebody a bunch of money, I just don't understand why you wouldn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. To me, it's dishonest. Maybe to somebody out there, it's not. But to me, it's dishonest. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I'm just being completely honest with you. It's just not my thing. And I just don't, I just don't, I couldn't sleep at night doing that. I know a lot of companies do. I know they do, but it's just, I can't do it. Y'all, I can't, it just is part of society as it is now. This whole thing about, it's just designed to go 8 years, 10 years. And well, that may be true, but if you get that, whatever it is, that widget that's going to last you 12 years, then I'm for it lasting 12 years. That's just my deal. Now, I think the way they justify this is by saying, well, it's really helping the customer, because if we come out there and let's say we could repair it, but if they go ahead and buy a new unit, they're going to get new technology, and they're going to save money because it's going to allow them to, pay for itself and then save money. Well, what good is that if you pay for it by saving money, then it breaks down by the time you get back to even, when the other unit would have done the same thing, and you see what I'm saying? And you wouldn't have had that expenditure. Now, for those of us who are getting older, it's not about how much we make. It's about how much you keep. And so, my granddad always said, son, it ain't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. And I think there's a lot of truth and wisdom in that. You try to adjust your living expenses to that point where you can survive, and you downsize and you do all those kinds of things that you don't have to have when you have a house full of kids and, all that kind of stuff. But this whole philosophy of, having, nothing's repairable. I don't get that. So I would advise you to, and it doesn't mean that the next person won't come out there and say, yeah, that's right. That there's nothing we can do for this, or they don't make parts for it anymore, or there's, those kinds of things that happens. I'm not saying that's legit. All I'm saying is if that's the first thing right out of the gate, then my antennas are going up, as they say. And I want to know why, I mean, I had a heat and air unit that lasted, and we talked about this on the air with the guys, that lasted 35 years, unheard of. But it's also a unit that they don't make anymore because they don't wear out. They said, oh, we got to change that. Can't make no money off that if you don't wear out, So, it's a doggoned if you do and doggoned if you don't kind of thing. And it's just one of those deals where, just something to be aware of, So just something to think about. Sitting here thinking about our friends at Miracle Method and what a great job they do. Just phenomenal. It is, Chris and Emily and all of his team over there, when we talked a lot about them last week, doing those things that they do, to take a tub that's been scratched or has had a problem with it or whatever. And then we also talked about having the thing that allows you to get a garage floor done affordably, for that hot rod or for whatever you've got in there. And then the safety package that they have is just phenomenal. And, with everything that they do. And so there again, what a great opportunity they have. Daryl Hartnagel in the house this morning. Good to see you, brother. Daryl Hartnagel, great friend of the program. And Daryl, since you've joined us, I will say that today we are podcasting because we are snowed in. However, starting next Saturday on January 18th, we are moving stations. We are now going to be heard from 7:30 till 9:30 on Saturday mornings on the Mix 105.5 in Sevierville. So we'll be touching Knoxville, Jefferson County, Morristown, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and all those areas. And we're really, really excited about that. My friend Daryl has a company that we're going to learn more and more about, that when he and I get an opportunity to chat about it, that I know that if he is involved in it and he is representing it, that it's one of the finest products available, because that's how he rolls. And he and I were together at another company for many years as one of our sponsors. So I'm just telling you, if it's something that he's done, it's a great product. I guarantee it, because he wouldn't be involved with anything else. And Daryl, that's something that we were talking about. I don't know if you heard this earlier, just a few minutes ago on the program, but we were talking about these new issues where they don't have service technicians anymore. They have sales technicians that are just, no matter what's going on with what you have, it's got to be replaced. And so just a different side of things. Now it's time for us to take that next time out. And honestly, it's time for me to take get rid of the coffee break. So y'all hang with me. We're going to take a short time out. I'll be right back and we'll continue the conversation. And we'll be right back. So hang on, youngins. Don't go nowhere. It's Rick's house. Hang on.
To build a strong house, you got to start with a solid foundation. This is Rick's House, the home improvement show.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. Let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Piper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hello, this is Pete with Sanders Plumbing Company. We've been your local, trusted plumber since 1989. We're not a franchise or a branch of some huge company from out of town. We're your friends, neighbors, and part of your community. Let us take care of all of your plumbing needs, and we'll treat your home as if it were our own. Sanders Plumbing. Quality service for quality people. Call 922-9175.
Stover's Liquidation knows that the cost of materials to build or remodel a home has gone up, up, up. But our prices are low, low, low at Stover's Liquidation. Great prices every day. Luxury vinyl plank starting at just 69 cents per square foot. Pre-finished hardwood flooring starting at just $129 per square foot. Appliances, 40% less than you pay at the big box store. Just in, beautiful 3/4 by 6 pre-finished hardwood flooring. Several great colors. Get it before it's gone. Come shop us in Antioch, Oak Ridge, or Cookville, or online anytime at stoversliquidation.com. Stovers.
Want the good, the bad, and the ugly of home improvement? You found it. This is Rick's House.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question, he'll help you figure it out. 'Cause it's Rick's House.
Good Saturday morning to you. Thank you. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Welcome to your mid-50s when that coffee kicks in, I'm telling you. I have a short time for warning when that happens. So, yeah, we're talking about my buddy Daryl Hartnagel. Does a great job. Gunner, what's happening, my brother? Doing a little Rick's House this morning. Ted, good to see you in there, brother. Thank you so much. And, man, I hope you're doing outstanding. Miss Ruby, I hope you're doing well. And we are doing the podcast from the house this morning and from the travel trailer. We're switching stations, as we've been telling y'all this morning, starting at 105.5 The Mix on Saturday mornings. Coming up this Saturday, January 18th, we'll be on from 7:30 to 9:30 doing Rick's House. And so I got up this morning, snowed in, and said, hey, let's throw the stuff together and just go ahead and do the podcast and talk about the things that we want to talk about. And appreciate all y'all joining us this morning. I want to remind you, my buddy John Horton's in the house, Steampunk Johnny, some of the best coffee, y'all. If y'all haven't, look back through the comments and you'll see that is there. Miss Ruby, good to see you. And we've been talking a lot about, home improvement and, yeah, that steampunk Johnny put it on you, and doing that. And like I said, Gunner, man, just glad to have you, brother. Hope you're doing outstanding. Legendary DJ, and broadcasting, personality, Gunner from WIVK, always been great to me. Now retired and doing his thing. So I'm sure he's somewhere in Union County on a farm with animals and such everywhere and not worried about the grid. And I say amen, brother. Cousin Michael, good to see you this morning. And the rest of you, yeah, you got to try that coffee. He's got one called Rocket Fuel. That'll stand up and talk to you. But he blends it himself, so it's all good. But back to the process. Michael's a tradesman. My cousin does a great job. Our cousin, and he'll tell you this business about it's got to be replaced. It can't be fixed. Yeah, that's true. A lot of times, I mean, it is. I'm not saying that it's not, but what I can say is that that's not always the case. And when somebody comes to my house and they're talking about, something that is, they're a sales technician, not a service technician, that's going to scare me right out of the gate. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Keith, good to see you. Hope you're enjoying your retirement, sir. And as we continue now, the podcast will continue along with the new show over at 105.5 The Mix on Saturday mornings. So we'll be on the air during the week, some of this, talking with the morning show guys, and then we'll be doing it every Saturday morning, and then we'll be out and about. We've got some folks we got to go see, and of course, we've got coming up. We've got we're going to be at Knoxville Salvage out on Greenway Drive, doing a live remote for our friends out there, Joel and the team out there. We're excited about that. So we're going to be out and about, and then also now that we're up in that Sevierville market and Pigeon Forge, Morristown, Jeff City, we hope to get up in there too as well, and recognize some of those folks up there to the places that and the folks that work up there, along with our regular sponsors that we've picked up, like our friends at Miracle Method. What a great job they do. If you need something fixed, or you got an avocado green tub and you need that refreshed and revived, you can do that. 865-693-5522. Man, they'll take care of you. The precision, the NASCAR, where you need that job done right, or maybe it's that safety package that you need for mom and dad moving in, and why do away with a perfectly good tub that maybe they want to change the color, fine, but he can cut that out and make it a walk through and add those grab bars and things properly, not none of this suction stuff that just sticks on and none of that. We're getting good quality stuff, and that's what they do at Miracle Method. You be sure and tell them now with all of our sponsors, be sure and let them know that we told you about them, because otherwise they don't know where it come from. And we appreciate them so much because they allow me to do this on every Saturday morning, and so the end result is that without them I don't get to do it. So let them know, and use them, because I promise you I will be putting on the Facebook this week all the ways that you can get us. You can still get us all the old ways, but you'll also be able to listen to us on streaming on 105.5 mix I think it's .net. I've got all that wrote down, but like I said, I've been up very early this morning and didn't want to be up very early, but I was, and so we'll be doing that all as we go along and get everything ready for you. The other thing is we talked a little bit about that, but I also need to tell you about Circulation Station. Now, if you're old curmudgeon like I am, who has swung a lot of hammers and did a whole lot of stuff I shouldn't have when I was young, because I was young, and I'll carry that. Oh, I can lift that. Oh, I can do that, and all the years of ball and all those kinds of things. My buddy Jim Vesper over at Circulation Station, man, what a job he's doing over there. It's a technology, and Gunner, you probably know about this. We've got dear friends that do cutting horses, and they use this Beamer technology, BEMER, on their horses. A lot of Olympic athletes use it. They have an agreement with the Alumni Association of the NFL. A lot of UT football players and other collegiate football athletes, as well as basketball athletes and pole vaulters and all kinds of stuff, use this technology, and it opens up your bloodstream, and it helps you to recover faster. And you're going to be hearing more and more about that as we begin to use that. Now, is it going to cure the things that ail me? I don't know. Don't think so. But does it help me not have the pain that I have been enduring for the last 6 years? It helps a lot with neuropathy and arthritis, and and I'll be talking more about how it's helping me in my story about the program. It's non-invasive. And what I really, really like about this, and Gunner, you're going to love this, as I do. So many of our people that we have are sponsors, like our friends Joshua and Heidi at Top Septic and August Excavation. Our friends Emily and Chris at Miracle Method, and of course CMG Mechanical Services LLC, and all these folks are either veterans or honor veterans. Jim Vesper, that owns Circulation Station. Now, this is strong. I want y'all to hear this. This is how strong it is. He's got a location in Maryville, one down Tellico Village for the folks down there. But if you are a combat veteran and you want to utilize his services at one of his locations, you come in, you use the Beamer program to help you with your ailments for life, for free, period, if you're a combat veteran, period. That's what I'm talking about. That's strong. And that's the kind of thing that we're doing, and what we're going to continue to do. Gunner done a fabulous job with veterans, and of course my son's finishing up his service, and a lot of veterans in our family, and so I just think that's great. All of our sponsors offer discounts to veterans, and as it should be. So we're happy about that, and it really works. I mean, it's amazing what it'll do, and it works for a variety of things. And like I said, Jim will be coming on with us as soon as we get on the new station, and it'll be explaining it from a level that I can't explain it from, because this is what he does and how he does it. So that's going to be interesting as well. And then our newest sponsor is Preferred Modular Homes Customs. Ben and Scott and the team down on Clinton Highway, they're putting together houses, y'all, that are 2x6 frame walls. Every window and door has OSB on outside and on the inside underneath the sheetrock. Hinged roof so you can get that tall pitch. Granite countertops, top quality flooring, all PEX piping, standard fixtures. I mean, we're talking about a house built in a factory where it doesn't rain, where it's climate controlled. They don't have to fight weather conditions. Well, they've got it figured to the exact amounts so that they're utilizing material costs, and that's how they get the cost down, by buying in volume. Now, we're not talking about, and there's nothing wrong with a trailer. I've lived in a trailer. I'm in one right now. Ain't a thing in the world wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, this is a different level of this is a whole different level that's available out there. And I'm so excited about them coming on with us and being part of our team that make it the way it should be, as well as Cozy Mountain Cabins. Anita up, if you're looking for that cabin, if you want to sleep 2, or maybe you want to sleep 30, she's got the place for you. Cozy Mountain Cabins with a Z.com. That's how you find them. So back to home improvement. And as I said, my buddy Daryl was in there this morning, and he's got a new company that deals with how your place, if you got rental properties, or you got a restaurant, or you got those kinds of things, deal with air quality and how how things smell when you go in there. If you've ever been at Baker Boy Pizza, their restroom smells like heaven. Now, I know that sounds odd. I don't know who they use for that. So I'm not saying, but what I am saying is that, you know, there's something about when I go into a place of business, usually I have to go to the restroom because I'm getting old and I drink too much coffee. But when I head into that place and I go into that restroom tells me a lot about that place of business. It tells me whether I'm going to eat there or not, for one. For two, it tells me about how they handle their business, because if you'll handle your restroom properly, then you're handling business properly. And, you know, I feel more comfortable about it. And that is an important part of making sure that you've got to get the condenser mic pointed in the right direction, but you're handling it the way it should be. If they'll take the time to do that, then they're going to take the time with your food, with your whatever it is they're doing. And so I appreciate that. I'm not going to do a podcast on Sundays right now. It's just too much with everything that we're doing through the week and preparing the new station. I want to make sure that I give you guys the very best information that I can. And we talk about whatever projects that you want to talk about, whether it's talking about windows or, as we've been talking about, replacing that door this morning. Getting a lot of questions about roofing companies. There's a lot of roofing companies in Knoxville. Had an opportunity yesterday. I was going through town and was over in a neighborhood over behind Vol Market number 3, which if you ever been to the Vol Market number 3, you know about Storm and Norman's iced tea. Or you might have seen Congressman Burchett in there, because they'll put a good hot dog or sandwich or a Vol burger and some of that Storm and Norman's iced tea over there. But that was a neighborhood that I spent a lot of time in because my cousins lived over there, and there's a hill in there that's just really, really steep. And so I had to go over there and cut through there for business. My wife was with me, and I told her, I said, "You see that hill right there?" She said, "Yeah, I know. You told me you kids used to sled down that thing." And I said, "Yeah, we did. Summertime and wintertime." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Let me show you." So I said, if we got time, I'm going to drive up to the top of this. So I drove all the way up to the top of this hill and got up there and turned around and looked down, and literally, now you can't do this nowadays, and I am not recommending children that you do this, but just the difference in time that we grew up, and, you know, folks my age, we took a pallet and we took an old wagon and we took the wheels off of it and the steering, and we fastened all that together. And now in the wintertime, we'd sled down that hill, and you had to have somebody at the cross streets just to make sure, watching that there wasn't no cars coming, even in the snow. And I'd almost say that the neighbors knew we was going to do it, so they pulled their cars up in case we got sideways and missed the road a little bit. They didn't want their car crashed into. And we'd sled down this hill. And so, but in the summertime, we built this contraption and put them wagon wheels on it, and we'd get up there at the top and do the same thing. Now, in summertime, you really had to have people at the cross streets. And we'd take off down that hill and just and have an absolute ball. Well, I got up there and took my foot off the brake and let the car go. And I thought, Lord, they put you in jail as if a parent today if you let your kids do that. But, oh, good gracious. But there was a lot for sale up there. Anytime I see a lot for sale, I'm always curious about it. So I called and asked the guy what he wanted for it, and got to talking to him. He's a local realtor and had a lot of information, a lot of good information. So I'm going to meet with him in the next few weeks and see what he might offer for that, letting us know about the market. And he and I were talking about what's going on in the real estate market today. And he was telling me that, he's got people that are having to move plumb. He said, Loudon's on fire. Lenore City, Loudon, he said, it's on fire. He said, and then all of Knoxville, of course. And, you got to get further out of the woods, further in the woods to get something that's affordable. And he told me what this lot cost. And I thought, wow, You know, now it's settled a little bit, but you know, property is extremely expensive right now. So if you can do a modular home, like our friends at Preferred Modular Homes Custom, then you have an opportunity to pick up some savings that you can go toward your property and still try to get that house down into a range that's affordable. And this is what I like about them. When I met with Ben, who runs it, this particular, they got 5 divisions, but he runs this division. And I think it's his brother-in-law, runs Scott, who runs the sales side of it. And I went in and he didn't know who I was because we hadn't met yet. We talked on the phone, but he'd never seen me. And my wife and I went in to chat with him about some things that we were going to talk about. And so we went in, he had a couple in there that was talking to him about, you know, purchasing a house and, you know, what their thoughts were. And this is what he said. And this stuck with me because this is the kind of thing that I look for when I'm looking for potential sponsors. He said, well, look, he said, most of the time what folks do is they say, well, this is my budget. And then we're always trying to work above that budget. He said, that is never, ever good to do. It puts you in a bind. It makes everybody tense. It causes a whole lot of issues. He said, the way we like to do it is let's determine what your true budget is. Okay. If it's 150 or 250 or 350 or 500, whatever it is, I want to know the absolute top. Then we'll pull in and I will show you what we can do in that range, top and then down. And then if you see something that you like, but you want to add some things to it and it's below the range of what we're working to, I can tell you what things we can add and still stay under that range. Now, I like that kind of salesmanship. Because if that's the absolute top, let's see what we can do for that. And it just creates an environment of good selling and everybody gets in on a win-win. And that makes me happy. Brian, to answer your question, I have not heard from Vance on the other issue. So I did send him a link. And so we will see what happens with that. If he's able to get on and do that, as like I said, we're podcasting. We'll definitely be able to do that when we get on the other station, and we get that done. So that being said, we appreciate when he's available to be with us because he's done us a great job over the last year out when we were on WJBZ, and we may do something with them again. We'll just see. So that being said, so those are the things that we're looking for as we talk about getting to the end result of whether it's just a project or whether it's a house or whether it is. And it's a different environment. It's a different time. It's a different set of rules that make buying a home, living, doing those kinds of things a whole different ball game these days. So now I don't know if you can hear the little girl in the background, but she's been doing that since 3:30 this morning, wanting to go outside. And then I opened the door. That's our little rescue kitty, Gypsy. And we call her Gypsy because she's had, she had 2 previous homes before we got her because they brought her back. Are you talking, Gypsy? Are you talking? Go tell your mama, because I can't get up and do anything about it. So, she is spoiled rotten, and I guess I have been the one to do that. Folks, if you don't need to get out today, don't get out unless you just absolutely positively have to. Daryl, I appreciate that, my brother. Any way I can help, you know I'm here. Thank you so much for joining us in this morning. I look forward to catching up with you. I hope you and your bride both are doing well. And any way I can help with that, you let me know, because I know whatever you're involved in is going to be done and done right. And so that's one of the things that, this is our 25th year. It's hard to believe that we've been either podcasting for the majority on a radio station somewhere, sometimes on more than one, and sometimes on none, traveling across the country. And I'm so thankful because it's what I love to do. And hopefully we're helping people by putting us together, or putting you together with the great sponsors that we have that have been so loyal to us and have been so great to us over the years. And we're going to go down the line and just chat about, Top Septics, what a great job they do. Knoxville Salvage, Old City Kitchens, August Excavation, Senor Taco, Cancun Mexican Restaurant, Cozy Mountain Cabins, Circulation Station with Jim Vesper and the team, Preferred Modular Homes, Custom with Ben and Scott, brand new Miracle Method. What a great job they're doing for us. And then, of course, the folks at CMG Mechanical Services, LLC. I mean, it's really something. They went and fixed, as I said, a previous client that I had. They went and fixed a unit for him that was not what the other folks said was wrong with it. So they went and fixed that. Then they turned around and went to, they asked him to look at the other unit that the other company said couldn't be fixed. They fixed that unit and still working. And then I got a phone call yesterday or day before yesterday, and they said, hey, can you get your guys to come back out and look at our third unit? And my understanding is they went out and took care of that. So CMG Mechanical Services, wow. You can find them all over Facebook. You can always email me, rickshouseradio@gmail.com. We'll get you guys together. But, whether it's just putting in fireplace logs or servicing your heat and air unit or putting a new unit in, that guys know how to make that happen. And what a great job they do. Thank you. So great stuff on the program. And we hope to have more of that going on here in the next. We're so excited about the new station and the new opportunities that we have. Now, don't get out and about today unless y'all just absolutely have to. You should have enough milk and bread for them milk sandwiches. I don't know why we do that, but we do. It's part of it. But yeah, the roads are, be careful. You don't want to be out there if you can control that whatsoever. All right, we're going to take one more time out to hear from some folks, and then we're going to come back and finish it up. You're listening to Rick's House, and man, we appreciate you. Hang on, young'uns. We'll be right back.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, host of Rick's House Home Improvement Radio Show on the road. And let me tell you about my friends at Knoxville Salvage and Old City Kitchens. Joel Piper and the team there have been friends of this program for a long time, and they want to be your friend. Friends, they have got the best cabinets, the best products. You say, Rick, is it seconds? No, everything's first quality. They do have some seconds if you want to get a deal, but not on kitchens and not on about everything they have in the store. So trust me, they're part of our team. They want to be part of your team. And in this environment where building materials are going through the roof, they're going to have the best prices on the best products in Knoxville or anywhere in the surrounding area. Call them today. See them online. KnoxvilleSalvage.com, OldCityKitchens.com. A Rick's House favorite.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen, and let me tell you about one of my favorite companies, Top Septic. If you need a new drain field, or maybe you're having a problem with your existing drain field, or maybe the septic tank just needs to be pumped, they are the folks that can handle it for you. They know what they're doing. They're an American-owned company run by a veteran who wants to give you the type of service that you're expecting. Top Septic. Call them today, 865-599-1690. 865-599-1690. Now listen, if you've not been to Baker Boys, have y'all tried Baker Boys pizza yet? Oh my good gracious. Let me tell you something. It's on Cherry Street.
If you get off on Cherry Street, turn toward Magnolia, and you'll see Baker Boys down there on the right. He's got a 30-inch pie, like I've even got it in my van. You got the door closed. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you, a slice of pizza feed 10 kids. Baker Boys Pizza is the place. I'm telling y'all, go by and see them and tell them that we sent you, and they're going to take care of you. They're going to be proud to see you, and they're going to be glad to feed you and your family. Great place for after church on Sundays. Go by and see the team at Baker Boys Pizza and tell them that Rick's House sent you.
Hey, y'all, being from the country, I've learned one thing for sure. The difference in experience can make the difference between a good job and a bad. That's why we choose August Excavation for all your excavation needs. Whether it's pouring a footing, laying out a footing, pouring a concrete driveway, excavating a basement, or whatever your excavation needs may be. August Excavating. Call them today, 423-736-1402. 423-736-1402.
Hey, y'all, this is Rick Allen. For 20 years, my wife and I and our family have been eating at Senior Taco. It's one of our favorite places. If you like seafood, they've got the most fantastic seafood in Knoxville. Not only that, great deals and specials on any type of Mexican food you like. Remember, Senior Taco on Broadway, and they cater too. Go by and see them, have a great meal, and tell them that Rick's House sent you.
Hey, y'all, this is Kix Brooks, and you are listening to Rick's House, everything you need to know about home improvement. Here comes Rick.
Oh, well, it's Rick's House. If you got a question, he'll help you figure it out. 'Cause it's Rick's House.
Oh, good Saturday morning to you. How you mama and them? Come on in the house as we finish it up here on the podcast this Saturday morning, and thanks so much for joining us on the program, and some new music that we've got that we'll be doing on the new station, and just some great things. I found a great service that we utilize for our commercials and for everything we do. And I hear you, cuz if you don't, them two commercials make you want pizza and tacos, Michael says. Coach, good to see you in there. Thanks for joining us on the program this morning as we're talking home improvement and trying to bring you up the information that you need to do everything that you can. We are starting, and I know I've said this about 10,000 times, but I'm so excited. We're starting this 18th of January. That's this coming Saturday, 1 week from today. We'll be on from 7:30 to 9:30 Saturday mornings on The Mix, 105.5 The Mix. Also going to be doing some stuff on the morning show with them one morning to let the show be introduced, and you'll start hearing the commercials from our sponsors. And y'all, we got the best group of sponsors, y'all. I can't ask for anything any better. If there's sponsors out there that we need to know about, we want you to know about, and we want to make sure that whether it's Weekend RV Center or Cozy Mountain Cabins or Circulation Station or Knoxville Salvage or Miracle Method, what a great time they do. Top Septic, Old City Kitchens. I mean, do what, Amy? CMG Mechanical Services, LLC, of course, Cancun Mexican Restaurant and Halls with Nelson out there, and then Senor Taco on Broadway with Luis and the team out there. And then, of course, Preferred Modular Homes of Custom Division, you know, as we continue to talk about that. And so we're going to get everybody in on all those commercials are being loaded. And so you guys will hear about them next week. And today's just kind of an extra because I wanted to talk with you and I wanted to at least get some information out there. Finally, on the program, some things that would not be possible. I forgot to get a mic stand, so I'm going to try to do this in one hand. Hang on one moment. And I find this interesting. You know, it don't take much to amuse me, but German-born physicist Albert Einstein, born in 1879, lived to 1955, was so influential his very name has become synonymous with genius. Now, I got this from I don't know what website, or I'd give credit to it. I didn't come up with this. It was come in my Google. I get so much stuff from all after 25 years that we want to put it in there. But while working as a patent clerk in 1905, at the age of 26, Einstein submitted 4 papers to the German journal, and I ain't even going to attempt to say that changed humanity's perception of time, gravity, and light. Today, historians mark the year as Einstein's miracle year. And he was just getting started. Much of Einstein's work is famously dense. Few people other than physicists, guess you got to be on the Big Bang Theory to understand it, need to fully comprehend mind-bending ideals behind the general theory of relativity and Einstein's other theories. Brett, good to see you in there this morning, brother. Help me on the road. Appreciate you out there at Claiborne Holland making it happen. Good bunch of folks out there. Relativity, other theories, but these discoveries from the bedrock of technologies the rest of us enjoy every day. Here are 5 ways Einstein's ideas changed the world and continue to provide a roadmap for humanity's future. Now, I just found this. I thank you. Brett, Amy. Brett Ledford said, "Good morning, Hot Rod." And for those of y'all don't know the story, we were back up in the country and had run over a nail, and I was limping on down the shoulder on the rim. Oh, you boys cleaning the parking lot today? And we're cleaning parking lots today. So if anyone needs their parking lot cleaned, give a call out there at Claiborne Holland. Brett Nim's getting it done. He's equipment operator out there. You know, Claiborne Holland, we're a great sponsor of the program for many years and do a great job. And, of course, Brett took care of me. I was limping on down the shoulder on the rim and trying to get off the crooked road I was on to get down to a flat place. And he turned around, come back, and said, "You need some help?" And I said, "Well, I got," he said, "We'd be glad to help you." And I'll tell you, I ain't never been so glad that he come along, and some other folks did too, but I just appreciate it. And so we got down there, and man, he had that tire out, that little old spare donut tire, and had my tire off and had that in there in about 5 minutes. It took me a half an hour just to wobble around back there with my cane. And him and his mom, Diane, and so he got us and then followed us down to the Exxon to make sure we could get it pumped up and done. And we went and got a tire that day and got it fixed. So thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And I tried to pay him. He said, "What's wrong with you? You put that up. I ain't fooling with that." So, you know, thank you, brother. I appreciate it in any way we can help you. But yeah, they cleaning parking lots. They got the stuff to do it too. They got the equipment over there to make it happen. I'm telling you, they do. Claiborne Holland, tell them you heard about it on Rick's House. Brett was on there. So some things that would not be possible without Albert Einstein. GPS would be impossible without the general theory of relativity. So without the general theory of relativity, you would have no GPS. That's pretty cool. Some 10,900 nautical miles above our heads, 31 satellites orbit the Earth as part of the global positioning systems. If it wasn't for Einstein, those satellites would be little more than space junk. The very foundation of GPS is accurate timekeeping, as satellites need to keep time to correctly log the distance from a ground-based receiver such as your smartphone. GPS satellites are so precise, the atomic clocks on board are accurate to within 3 billionths of a second, a feat that would be impossible without Einstein's special and general theories of relativity. And then it goes on to explain it in something that's way above my pay grade. Second thing, the explanation of photoelectric effect helped make modern solar power possible. So without the explanation, that's hard to say, the explanation of photoelectric effect helped make modern solar power possible from Einstein. Won the Nobel Prize in 1921. Lasers were developed thanks to Einstein's quantum theory of radiation. So without Einstein's quantum theory of radiation, we would not have lasers today. That's pretty cool. The E equals MC squared equation formed the scientific basis for the nuclear bomb. The E equals MC squared equation could point to the future of energy as well. The process explains how neutron fired from a uranium atom splits into smaller atoms, which releasing a tremendous amount of energy. It's known as nuclear fission. And when the process is controlled, it provides low emission nuclear energy. When released in an uncontrolled state, it can be used to produce an atomic bomb. Einstein himself never worked on the Manhattan Project, the secret government program to make the first nuclear bomb, but he rubber stamped the idea in 1939 letter to Franklin D. Roosevelt that argued for the U.S. to make the bomb before Nazi Germany. Einstein later regarded the letter as one of the great mistakes of his life. So interesting stuff on the program. And finally, last week, I told you about something, but I don't think I gave you the information that I intended to. That information being chimney balloons. You know, you lose a lot of air up through your fireplace this time of year in the wintertime. So if you have a fireplace that you're not using, and you know, chimney flues, if they're in good shape, they do a good job. And so instead, you can install a chimney type damper system on top of your fireplace called a chimneylator, which goes up on the top and puts a cap and shuts it down. You can also use a chimney balloon, and this is a balloon that's inflatable in the chimney of your fireplace itself, and it keeps you from losing all that energy up the fireplace and heating things that you don't want to heat when they're there. T. Scott Jones in the house watching this morning as we finish up on the program. And always good to have you in there, my friend. T. Scott Jones, for all your legal needs. Great friend of this program. Has helped us many, many times, Banks and Jones. You can trust him. He's going to get it done. He's going to play to win. And so, you know, make sure that you tell him that we sent you as we trust him with all of our legal things that we have as this day and time. You have some of those kinds of things. So T. Scott Jones also does a great program during the week on Praise 96.3, Your Praise FM, where he offers legal advice. And hopefully we'll have him on our show some too, up on the new station at 105.5 The Mix. As we do that. So we run a little bit past the time today. I want to thank y'all for being with us and listening to us on this podcast as we get ready to kick the new show off on Saturday, the 18th. I want you to be sure and visit all of our sponsors: CMG Mechanical Services, Miracle Method of Knoxville, Preferred Modular Homes Customs, Circulation Station, Baker Boy Pizza, Cozy Mountain Cabins, Cancun Mexican Restaurant, Senior Taco Mexican Restaurant, August Excavations, Old City Kitchens, Knoxville Salvage, Top Septic Service, and Weekend RV Center. We will see you guys next time right here on Rick's House, and it'll be awesome this coming Saturday. Look for us during the week. God bless you. And as always, grab those babies, hug them and love them. Put your arms around them. Tell somebody you love them and say a prayer for them, because you never know. Believe me, I promise you it can happen. Thank you so much. Enjoyed it. See you guys next week.